And now let's try and tune in to no good music from an undisclosed location somewhere in New Jersey. That style, playing guitar.
When that comes on, you're out on the dance floor.
Sammy still rocks, man.
Am I going to listen to this again?
And that's definitely going to be a theme.
You can't make this shit up.
No.
This is Rob.
And Jeremy.
We are on show 73. And before we kick off the show, we're going to play a new cover song from Lucinda Williams. And it's the Beatles, Something, from her forthcoming album. So let's give it a listen. We'll be back after the song, and we'll tell you more about the album.
Somewhere in a smile, he knows that I don't need no other lover. Something in a style that shows me I don't want to leave her now. You know I believe her You're asking me what my love grows.
So that was Lucinda Williams. And
is it a male or a female? That's a
female.
Stupid question, but okay.
Female. And she has a forthcoming album. Lucinda Williams sings The Beatles from Abbey Road. And it comes out December 6th. And as noted in the title, the 3-time Grammy Award winner recorded a collection with her band and producer Ray Kennedy at the Beatles' legendary studio in London. And while many great artists have recorded at Abbey Road Studios, it turns out that she is the first major artist to actually record Beatles songs there aside from the Fab Four themselves. And this serves as volume 7 of her celebrated Lou's Jukebox series.
Wow.
First new volume in almost 4 years. And you want to check out the video for the song because it was filmed during the recording at Abbey Road Studios. And as an acclaimed award-winning singer-songwriter for more than 4 decades, Williams is a pioneering artist whose music has been highly influential and covered by a multitude of others. She's also an extraordinary interpreter who, like all great interpreters, has the ability to inhabit a song and make it her own. She does that throughout this selection of Beatles tracks, as she has done on each Lou's Jukebox volume. She's covered Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, and Rolling Stones, to name a few, and Volume 5 is a Christmas album. That's Volume 5. The albums began during the pandemic to help independent music venues and had no revenue coming in, so it's for a good cause. And let's see, how many songs are on here? We've got, let's see, Don't Let Me Down, I'm Looking Through You, Can't Buy Me Love. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She's got 12 Beatles songs she recorded. She's also on tour in November, starting November 8th, which is already passed, in Buffalo, New York, and at the Town Ballroom, and ending on November 24th in Wilmington, Delaware, at the Grand Opera House. And her albums can be found on streaming services, or you can go to lucindawilliams.com to order. She has CDs or vinyl. And we did get permission to play that song, which is great. And Lucinda's been around a while. And like I mentioned, a lot of artists have recorded her songs. She may not be a well-known name as, like Elton John or Cher or something like that. But she's more folky, and you can hear in her voice she did a different take on that song. And I think that's a George Harrison song. So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Jeremy and I are going to tell you what we've been up to, which is not real exciting. And then we'll get into some, I think we're going to talk next about music news. But we have a lot to talk about on this show. Okay. This is our regular music show. So just sit tight, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Just like that. We didn't go anywhere.
No.
Well, we have a new beer, and I like this time of year because it's like the last couple of days have been cold. Like winter should
chillier.
be. Yeah, we're on the East Coast, of course, if you just started listening in New Jersey. But I like the holiday season. I think Christmas has to be, not going to church or anything, but just I don't know. People, I want to think seem a little nicer. Maybe. But this is the first time I've ever had a Christmas beer before Thanksgiving. So and I found this beer called Fistmas. It's red ale with ginger and orange peel, and it's a 6.5. We've got Santa. He's wearing a barrel suit. He lost his suit.
My God!
He had so many beers.
Art the Clown stole it from him.
Yeah, Art the Clown stole it. Full festive flavors for jolly, joyful jingles. And this is from Revolution Brewery. And where is this? If I can't read these labels. There aren't labels anymore, but
couldn't tell you.
Chicago.
All right.
I actually could read that. Okay, we're gonna crack this open here.
Chevy Chase delivered this to us straight from Chicago.
Yeah. What the heck was that?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. I'll give it a taste here.
Drinking out of a chiller glass. I love it. This is the new one, isn't it? Or was this last year's, maybe?
That might be last year.
We get the Invisible Man.
Yeah. How is that, Jeremy?
I don't know yet.
Somebody spilled beer in this ashtray!
It tastes better than that.
I got a lot of foam.
Okay, so while Jeremy's looking at his beer,
It's pretty good.
He didn't pour it correctly.
I did not pour it correctly.
Yeah.
You're right. I didn't tilt the glass.
So we have some music news, and I know Jeremy and I are excited about this one. I think this was today.
It was. Well, no, I think it came out like within the last day or two, but we talked about it today.
So
you want me to fill them in? Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked about it on the show a few times. We even did, the book of Brian Johnson, but AC/DC announced that they're going to be touring in North America. So.
Yeah. U.S. tour.
Yep.
Now, I know they announced Europe or, UK.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I guess the tour hasn't begun yet.
No,
right? Okay.
not to my knowledge, anyway.
So we're really planning on going to see it because you have not seen AC/DC.
I have not. They're my all-time favorite band, and I have never been to see them. Bucket list for sure.
I mean, that was like with Tom Petty with me. He's like one of my all-time favorites, and I regret not going to see him.
Yep.
So in AC/DC, this has got to be their last tour.
Oh, I would think. It's starting in Minnesota, which seems like such a random
I didn't even look
place to begin.
Are they playing? I assume they're playing in Philly.
I don't know. I didn't look at where they're going to be. I just saw that was the first one.
For me, I kind of sworn off stadium tours, but concerts. But if they're at Wells Fargo, that Philly, that's a smaller stadium.
Yeah.
Arena, we'll say, to see them.
You know they're not going to be doing a Penn's Peak or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to be doing the smaller ones. And definitely have to wear earplugs.
Yeah.
But that's like like I said, I doubt they're going to tour after this. This is going to be, Brian Johnson's 77, 78.
Yeah, for sure.
And for our listeners, if you haven't read his book, look for that book. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon for, used or something.
Yeah, check it out and then listen to our podcast. We actually covered the book in depth. That was a lot of fun.
That's one of our higher numbers on that podcast is the Brian Johnson book that we did. We went chapter by chapter.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So the other news is Bruce Springsteen. It's the Bruce Springsteen movie, filming in New Jersey.
Yeah.
They were filming in Bayonne, I think a week or so ago. December, they're filming in Asbury Park. And in January at Madison Square Garden, I think that's probably it's probably one of the last scenes maybe they're filming. I don't know. I assume it's a concert that they're filming. Director Scott Cooper. And this is not his first music movie. He directed the movie Crazy Heart back in 2009 that starred Jeff Bridges. The new movie is called Deliver Me From Nowhere. And Jeremy Allen White is playing Bruce Springsteen.
That's not me.
No, he was yeah. Now he was on Shameless, and he also stars in The Bear. Now, in my opinion, I think they could have gotten someone better that looked more like Bruce.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of talk about Jeremy Allen White. I don't know if you know who he is.
I don't. Not off the top of my head. If you showed me a picture, I might.
If I showed you a picture, you'd probably think that he could play Gene Wilder. That's what he looks like.
Nice.
So
Wonka
Gene Wilder
himself.
looks nothing like Bruce.
No, not at all.
And they basically put like a leather jacket on him and a cap. Okay, you're Bruce. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I know he's a good actor. Maybe he'll pull it off, And you don't want someone like Tom Cruise or anything playing someone also famous.
Have you seen Bruce live?
Yeah, back in Born in the USA.
Okay. I saw him twice, but ironically enough, the election just ended, so this is what made me think of it. But he was actually putting on a free performance at my college to endorse Barack Obama at the time.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the first time I got to see Bruce Springsteen for free as a student. It was pretty exciting.
I had a little political stuff in here, but I took it out.
Oh, good.
But I'm going to mention it. I don't have it in here. I took it out, but only that I think Bruce has as many haters as you two.
Yeah.
There's just because of their political views or what people think they think. That's the thing. And there was an article, and I'm not sure what website or music publication it was, but the headline was something like their new Bruce Springsteen movie filming in New Jersey, and who really cares? I'm serious. It said that right after. It was like, why are you writing articles?
I'm not surprised. I've seen Bruce, and then you could go the other extreme. I've seen Ted Nugent. To me, political views are not what I go to see a concert for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to see you perform your concert. And I will say, I use those two examples. Obviously, they are on opposite sides of the spectrum. When I saw both of them live, they both brought it into their performance. And it was something that, personally, I think could have been done without.
Well, Bruce has a lot of songs that are political, but I don't like in between the songs. I know U2 is another, so I think that's why people don't like them.
Yeah.
If you're not on your side, and for me personally, I don't really have a side.
I don't have a side, so it's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
Either I'm not going to stop listening to you because of the side you're on. I'm not going to start listening to you because of the side you're on. I like the music. I want to hear you perform. I want to see you perform. That's what I'm
I never liked Ted Nugent, and I won't start listening to it, but it has nothing to do with anything. Just that I don't like Ted Nugent.
Right.
And also, one of my favorite actors is Clint Eastwood. He's pretty much a Republican. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care one way or the other. I feel like I'm not either. But anyway, enough politics.
Yeah, agreed.
So Bruce was this movie revolves around Nebraska, by the way, the recording of Nebraska, which is a great album. Bruce recorded at his house, I think in Rumson, New Jersey. I think he recorded on like an 8-track or something, 4-track, and it, no band, so it's very. If you know the album, you know the album. Very stripped down.
Right.
The song Atlantic City. There's a lot of songs on there I love. But Bruce was 32 when he recorded Nebraska, and Jeremy is 33. So they got the age right.
Okay.
But we'll see when it comes out, And I also put in to be an extra. I haven't heard anything yet for the Asbury Park, scenes.
Keep me posted on that one.
Yeah.
If you hear back.
Yeah.
I would definitely go to that.
Well, there's this casting agency, and they keep putting this stuff out to email. I had like a person's email, but I never hear from them. I sent them photos. I'd hate to think that I'm not good looking enough to be an extra.
Well, we got competition with the Cheese Man, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have a friend. Should we mention him?
It's up to you.
Dallas Cheese Man.
Mr. Cheese Man.
I know it's not Cheese Man. Sorry, Dallas. It's probably Chesman or something.
Yeah.
No, but he's a good guy. And we have a couple friends we've met along the way just in the last year. And just doing like with movies, just contributing, donating money, or actually we were in a couple movies. Well, I was in, Jeremy and I were in a couple, what am I saying? Jeremy was in one movie with me, where he was an extra, which we talked about before. Daniel Roebuck movie, which the premiere is Sunday. And then I was in a horror movie at Jeremy wasn't feeling well. So it's the second time this year Jeremy wasn't feeling well. So
yes, that's right.
That's why we're doing this podcast. We were going to do it last week, but
that one was more COVID. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, this one was different.
This one was stomach virus.
So this is a new item this week. I just heard is well, first of all, this movie Wicked,
which looks good. By the way,
I'm not a big fan of Ariana Grande. But I'm big, like, Wizard of Oz. I always wanted to see Wicked on Broadway. And no, I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. And it's not all CGI. They built a lot of the stuff. And what's interesting is our listeners, if you're around on November 19th and you have either Peacock or NBC, regular channel, 10 o'clock, Making of Wicked.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I hope to tune in and watch that. I always like to see the behind the
And if you
scenes.
don't know, Wicked, I don't want to call it a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, but it goes more into the Wicked Witches story, right?
I think it is kind of a prequel.
It kind of is, but...
Because I read the one guy is, they kind of tell you how the Scarecrow became the Scarecrow. Guess it was a curse or something that made him into a Scarecrow.
Yep. But it looks really good, and I think they did a good job of specifically the Wicked Witch. She, from the previews, it looks like she's going to nail this role. Yeah,
and they do have Munchkins, but they aren't the Munchkins we think of. They're a group of people called the Munchkins.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've been a fan since I was a little kid, and I've actually met some of the Munchkins, the ones that were in The Wizard of Oz.
Nice.
Yeah, so Wicked. And what would our podcast be without Dua Lipa? We got to mention Dua Lipa.
Okay, I love that.
Thank you, Dua. Dua is gearing up for the launch of her Radical Optimism World Tour. And it seems like it would have gone on earlier this year because her album came out 6 months, 8 months. It seems like a while ago, right?
Right.
And November 5th, okay, so she already started her tour. But people like me or Jeremy that can't get tickets because it's probably sold out.
The peasants of the
and don't want to do stadiums anymore. Well,
right.
Maybe Jeremy's okay with stadiums. I'm not.
Not if I'm sitting in the 500 level.
Yeah. But we can tune in to her forthcoming concert special, An Evening with Dua Lipa. And the special was filmed in London at the Royal Albert Hall on October 17th. They filmed it.
Nice.
I did not get an invite. Thank you, Dua. She has a 53-piece orchestra, heritage orchestra, and her own 7-piece band, and a 14-person choir.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a big show. And it says it's going to be accompanied by never-before-seen behind-the-scenes interviews, reflections of her favorite holiday memories, and more. You know, this is going to be this is going to be a special our grandkids might be talking about this concert. I don't know. And viewers will be treated to the debut live performance of her Barbie soundtrack hit Dance the Night.
Okay.
As well as a surprise duet of Cold Heart with music legend Elton John.
Nice.
So there you go.
Very cool.
And where can we watch this? On CBS on Sunday, December 15th. Okay. And the concert will stream on Paramount after its televised broadcast.
Nice.
So there you go.
You know, speaking of choirs, this is the time of year where Adam Sandler likes to get a local choir together so that he could put out his, 80th rendition of the Hanukkah song.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I like those, so I'm not making fun of him. But he changes it up like every year. It's funny.
Yeah, he'll probably be on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. So Christmas is coming up. I know it's still November. We haven't, as of today, I hope to put this podcast out. What's today? I don't even know what today's Thursday. Yeah. Tomorrow or the next day.
Black
but
Friday
we still have
coming.
to talk about Christmas specials because by the time we do our next podcast.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And if
Charlie Brown's probably on next week.
And if Jeremy's sick again, we might not be doing it till Christmas Day.
The Grinch will be on next week. All the good ones are always on in November, and you never see them again.
So I have a couple of new Christmas specials coming out next month. And unfortunately, there is not a new Michael Bublé Christmas special.
Oh, what a shame.
That's right, folks. But Sabrina Carpenter has a new album out, Jeremy.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
And it's blowing up on the top 10 crappy song charts.
On TikTok?
No, actually, her album is... I've listened to it a couple times.
Okay.
It's kind of it's pop, but it's about relationships and how men have done her wrong, and it's great. It's a great album.
Okay.
I'm not joking. It's a good... Now, her special is called A Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter. Okay. A Nonsense Christmas.
That's total nonsense.
And it's going to be on Netflix.
All right.
Just like... there's nothing to do with music, but...
Just like the big fight.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul tomorrow night. Yeah. And maybe I'll get this podcast out tomorrow.
There you go.
So
we won't be able to spoil who wins it.
Well, no, if people forgot, because I think that fight was supposed to be in June.
It was like June or July.
Yeah. And we could let them know if they're listening, and they'll be like, oh my God, if I didn't listen to the podcast, I would never have known.
Absolutely.
So Sabrina Carpenter, back to her. Her special will air on Netflix on December 6th at 6 p.m.
Is she related to John Carpenter at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
Or Karen Carpenter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or Jesus, who was Carpenter. Sorry.
Sorry, I was just curious.
So there's going to be special guests, but they have not been announced yet.
Dua Lipa.
Can we guess who's going to show up?
Or is it Dua Lipa? What did I say?
It's Dua Lipa.
I think I said Leah Dupa.
Lipa Dua. You know, in Dua Lipa, that is her real name. Like, she didn't make that name up. You know, that's a real name.
Yeah, no. I think I...
Her dad is Daddy Lipa.
I think I said it backwards and realized it almost immediately afterwards. Like, what did I just say?
Yeah.
Oops.
So I think we're going to have Lady Gaga. Maybe. I'm guessing here. Billie Eilish.
She was just added to season 2 of Wednesday. Did you see that? Lady Gaga.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about Shabuzi, Jeremy?
I don't know
You're a
anything
big-
about Shabuzi.
Post Malone,
Post Malone is
Teddy
good.
Swims. He's very popular right now.
We've talked about this before. Post Malone has such a nice voice. He does not look the way he sounds.
And he's a nice person, too.
Yes.
Yeah. He, I just saw a video recently of a girl that he brought up on stage, little girl.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, she had gone to see him, and he gave her his guitar.
Oh, cool.
And he said, I think he said something like, I'm giving this to you for you to get guitar lessons or learn how to play the guitar. And she came back, and I think with a sign that said, can I play a song? And I think she had the guitar with her, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And went up there and played a song.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But the real question is, Teddy Swims. Can he swim?
Probably not.
I do know, all seriousness, that me and Jeremy hope Shabuzi does show up.
If you down with that music, then you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you, Shabuzi.
Maybe Jelly Roll will be there.
And how is his song? He has a song called Bar Song.
Bar song.
It's at #1. It's been there for like the whole year, and we have not even heard of it.
What kind of, is it like the bar you go to get a drink at? Is it like a bar you lean on when you're walking, like down the steps or something?
I think it's a country song, like one of those country rap.
Okay. As I say, or is it like those bars on the casino slot machines that say bar that look like a line?
I think I saw part of a video, and he's kind of dancing, like doing a
Dancing up on the bar?
line dance or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So Sabrina will perform songs from her holiday-themed EP, Fruitcake.
Jesus.
Which I did some research, and this came out last year.
Okay.
And we didn't talk about it last year.
Was Elton John the producer? No, I'm just kidding.
And some
Sorry.
other Christmas classics. And then we have Jimmy Fallon. On December 4th, Jimmy is getting festive on NBC with the help of his famous friends in Jimmy Fallon's Holiday Seasoning Spectacular. This is a 1-hour musical special, and it will air immediately following the Christmas in Rockefeller Center tree lighting in New York City.
Okay.
The Tonight Show host will be joined by many of the special guests featured on his new Holiday Seasoning album, which came out November 1st, and I'm already sick of hearing about it because I watch Jimmy Fallon every night.
Ah.
Now, I only watch for a half an hour. I watch the monologue, and then I probably watch a little of the first guest till around midnight.
Okay.
But every night he brings out the album.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, we're only, what are we on, November? I don't know what's the
14th.
date. We got another, more than a month.
I always hear about things too late. Did you know yesterday Krispy Kreme Donuts was giving out a bunch of free donuts for some kind of random happiness day or something?
No.
Yeah, me either. I missed out
know.
on free Krispy Kremes, man.
Yeah,
I didn't know about Jimmy Fallon's album.
I know. I hear about a lot of things afterwards. I try to do my research, but as much as I try, I try to figure out what new albums are coming out. Mm-hmm. There's always an album that I see.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how
did I miss that?
And why wasn't that on a list?
Right.
Yeah. So Jimmy, let's see, he can confirm, or we can confirm that, and I can never say her name right, Cara Delevingne, I think she's an actress.
Okay.
Dolly Parton, and Dolly, speaking of Dolly Parton, next week we have, Matt and I interviewed someone that is related to Dolly.
Ooh.
And it was a really good interview with Jada Starr, her name is, and Dolly is her aunt.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So her mother is Dolly's sister.
Can't wait to hear that one.
And they're all musical people in the Parton family.
Nice.
Anyway, Jonas Brothers, Justin Timberlake, LL Cool J, Meghan Trainor, JB Smoove. I like him. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
The Roots, of course, and Weird Al. Weird Al's on his album.
Look at that.
I think they do a polka Christmas song or something.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, Jimmy's been promoting this every night. and I don't know, he's always advertising something. He had a Halloween book or something out. And then before that, it was his book club.
Okay.
He had all these books, and you had to vote on what book I don't know. Anyway. I do admire his energy. Jimmy is 50, Jimmy's 50. He looks good for 50.
Yeah.
And he's only 8 years younger than me. And I admire his energy, He's always excited and, about everything.
Kind of like Ryan Seacrest.
Well, every night, Jimmy, when he shows his album, he's autographed some of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the insert. And he's all spiffed up.
Mm-hmm.
And he always makes a comment that he looks like Ryan Seacrest. So maybe they're the same person.
Maybe.
So anyway, check out those music specials. If anything else comes up, by the next podcast, we'll tell you about it. But and then you'll have your regular. I don't know what's on anymore though, because the certain channels got certain Christmas things.
I'm sure Mariah Carey will be on one of them.
Oh jeez. Oh, she's Oh, that's also music news. She is apparently thawing out right now.
Of course, yeah.
She will be ready soon.
She's already playing.
Like the Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah.
But she has to thaw out a little bit longer.
Make sure, I didn't say this last year, so I'm going to say it this year. Make sure you give Adam Sandler's Thanksgiving song a listen in the next week or so before Thanksgiving comes, because that's a great classic.
There's not too many Thanksgiving things.
Nope.
There's
not.
There's the horror movie now, and there's also my favorite is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, because
that's
it's like one of the only
movie.
Thanksgiving comedies.
Mm-hmm. John Candy's like the star of that movie.
I watch that every year.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so we're going to take a little break again. When we come back, we're going to talk about new music.
We need more beer.
What I've been listening to. And so hang in there. We'll be back. Okay, we're back.
On the first day of Thanksgiving, my co-host gave to me beer.
First day of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There should be 12 days of
There
Thanksgiving.
should be 12 days of Thanksgiving.
What do you say?
We need to plumpen up and get ready for all the food we're going to, indulge.
I'm trying to unplump.
Loosen up the belt buckle and, unbutton the pants.
I mean, it's 14 days till I kept thinking Thanksgiving was the 21st.
It's late this year, I think, yeah.
So we, speaking of, I don't think I have it in here, but also Record Store Day coming up, right? And I think might have something here. Maybe not. So Record Store Day is Black Friday, folks, in the U.S.
Yes.
I always forget people in other countries. And thank you for listening, people in other countries.
Yep.
So the 29th of November is Record Store Day. And I've only gone to maybe one where I actually got there early to stand in line and then still didn't get, I think, what I wanted. So I go later in the afternoon. And we have a place in Pennsylvania, Spin Me Round.
Palmer Park Mall, right?
Yeah, they used to be in Phillipsburg. They used to be in New Jersey. But so Record Store Day, there's 3, I have them here, 3 albums that are only out for Record Store Day.
Okay.
And one is B.B. King, and it's live in France. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's a live album. Cat Stevens. It's called Saturday Night, not Saturday Night. Saturday Night live in Tokyo. So that's a live one.
Okay.
And then we've got Steve Martin, who's my favorites. King Tut. I think it's on a 7-inch. I think it's just the King Tut song.
Okay.
It's probably on a color vinyl or something. So those are the 3 that I want to get.
Okay.
I know Jeremy doesn't collect vinyl like I do, or at all. But
every now and then I'll pick one up, but usually if it's signed.
Yeah. Well, spin me around. I ordered online. I'm like, it's 30 minutes from here, but sometimes you don't feel like driving over there.
Right.
And I got 3 albums for like $10 a piece. I think I got Bruce Springsteen Letters to You, which came out some years ago. 2 albums, gray vinyl, for like $12. And Neil Young, which is sitting there, Barn, which is Neil Young and Crazy Horse.
Mm-hmm.
So I played the first side, and then I went to put the album in there, and I'm like, something's in here. And pick up that album there, Jeremy. A minute. And look at what's in there. There's an envelope in there. I thought someone left something for me. No, it's in there.
Up.
Yeah.
Barn photos.
Yeah, I'm afraid to look. It just says barn photos. I don't know if there are explicit photos of Neil Young in there or of his barn. Or if, I don't know if everybody gets the same photos, but that was a kind of a cool idea.
Did you actually look at these?
No.
Oh. They're photos of him performing in the barn.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. So anyway. So Barn came out a while ago. So let's talk new music here. Let's see. I think Barn might have come out last year. I don't think it came out this year. So one album I really like is The Cure.
Yeah?
The Cure. I don't know if you had a chance to listen.
I have listened to that one, yes.
Songs for a Lost World. Came out November 1st. And it's the first new album of like new material in 16 years.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of Disintegration, which I loved.
So funny, because it's one of the few. Rob was actually giving me shit like a week ago. He's like, I don't know what's up with you lately. You're not listening to new music.
Yeah. What are you listening to?
I was like, I've been doing a lot of audiobooks or just listening to podcasts. Like I don't know, I've been through, a phase the last 3-4 months where I've just been listening to something else. But that is one of the few that I have actually listened to.
So, it reminds me of Disintegration, which is from '89. Okay, it's not the like the poppy, like the like Kiss, what was it, Kiss Me or something. Yeah, had a lot of upbeat, like happy, dancey. Right. Disintegration was kind of like mellow, and that's what it reminds me of. And I don't think I'm going to get this on vinyl though. But if you like The Cure and you haven't heard, if you haven't listened in a while, I'd give this a listen. Robert Smith sounds exactly like he did back in the 80s. But I do find it ironic. The name of their album is Songs for a Lost World. And Tears for Fears also have a new album. Okay. Songs for a Nervous Planet. Okay. Came out, I think, a couple months ago. So November 8th, we got Talking Heads. Which is last week, of course. Talking Heads 77 Super Deluxe Edition. So it's remastered. Okay. George Harrison has a new one. No, just November 15th. Living in the Material World.
Sounds like something from Madonna.
No, actually, this is the 50th anniversary. That was the name of his album.
Okay.
Maybe Madonna got it from him.
Maybe.
And one I'm excited about, and again, we talked earlier about remaking movies, and Linkin Park. Yeah. Linkin Park, I was never a huge fan. And, people are so into bands sometimes. They like, there's bands I like, but I would never say, he or she's the greatest singer in the world. I like Bob Dylan, but I'm not going to,
Right. People get attached sometimes, and they don't give something new a chance.
Yeah. And even Bono's I don't think he's a great singer. He's a good singer, but Chester, I don't even know, Chester
Chester Bennington or something
Bennington,
like that?
Yeah. He was, for that music, he was okay.
Right.
But I'm really loving, it's called From Zero. Linkin Park's new album.
Would somebody kick the dog out of the studio, please?
And it's a new singer, Emily Armstrong. Mm-hmm. And she's just a great female rocker. She doesn't play an instrument, but She has a really good, strong voice.
Kind of like a Lizzie Hale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as good as Lizzie, but yeah, she's up there. But there's a couple songs on this. Of course, I didn't write them down. A couple of songs on this album I really love. And so check that out. Linkin Park. What do I have here? Is that, I think that comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. The 15th. November 22nd, Father John Misty, who I've gotten to like over the last couple of years. His album is Mahashana. That's what it's called.
Mahashana.
He's a pretty interesting guy. Good, like, lyrically, great songwriter.
Okay.
Great storyteller. Kim Deal, you might know her from The Breeders, also The Pixies.
Ah, okay.
Nobody Loves You More. New Order, not a new album, but Brotherhood, Definitive Edition. It's a reissue from 1986.
Okay.
Then we got U2, and I'm debating buying this. How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, Reassemble Edition.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 albums. Maybe it's on red vinyl.
I got that album for Christmas when it first came out, and I played it so much.
And actually, it's on black vinyl. So it's 2 albums. It's got a gatefold sleeve and a large format 16-page booklet. And I think the price has me off because it's like $55.
Yeah, it's too much.
Now there's this.
No disrespect. I love you too, as you do, but that's a lot for something that's not new. There's nothing really unique about it. Sure, a 16-page.
And I started, I have a lot of I have like 600 CDs at least. So I started listening to CDs again too. I was listening to vinyl like all the time, but now if I have it on CD, it's like, do I really want to buy the vinyl?
Right.
If I haven't heard it in a while, I just put the CD in because it's CD like on my stereo, on a good decent stereo. It sounds pretty good.
I feel your pain, man. I've started. If I have a cassette, do I really want to buy?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Do I really want to buy a CD? But CDs are they're still like, you can get used ones for like, $6, $8.
I can say a couple of bucks.
Yeah. Same with used albums. It depends. But, I paid $25 for Led Zeppelin Into the Outdoor because it was in good condition.
Right.
So a CD, it doesn't really.
It's a good album.
Yeah.
That helps too.
And it's funny because CDs, if they're all scratched up, they usually get thrown in the garbage.
Right.
But albums, for some reason, I've gotten new ones that just, like, I'm telling you, new sealed that skip.
Jeez.
Like the color vinyl.
Yep.
I think it was the new Halsey album. I think one of the songs skips.
Jeez.
So there's this odd country craze going on. I think it started with Beyonce. Maybe it started before that.
Okay.
Where pop artists or R&B, they have to announce they're doing a country album.
Oh, yeah.
Like they discovered country music. And most of them really don't. I'll say most, maybe. I'll say some don't know what real country music is.
Right.
I imagine. But out of the blue comes a new country album. And it's coming out. We're giving you a heads up on this one, January 10th. By none other than Ringo Starr. And it's called Look Up. The cover is Ringo wearing a cowboy hat and sunglasses. He's wearing a white shirt. It's black and white photo. It's looking pretty sharp.
That, of course, makes you country.
That's
funny.
Now, the Beatles have done country songs. This is the thing. Back in the day. Act Naturally. These are all Ringo songs, too. What Goes On. Don't Pass Me By. All sung by Ringo. Don't Pass Me By was written by Ringo. There's one song out now, one single called Time on My Hands. It's kind of a slow burn of a song. Now, you'll get no autograph versions.
Damn.
But you get a free 11 by 11 poster, Ringo.
Okay.
He doesn't do autographs.
I could put that on my
He could have
ceiling.
done a pre-printed autograph.
Yeah.
The album, Ringo wrote the album with T-Bone Burnett, Billy Swan, and Bruce Sugar. marks his first full album in the country style in over 50 years. His first LP since 2019. Now, Ringo did put out a country album in 1970.
Mm.
It was his second solo album called Beau Coups.
Oh my God, that was huge.
Beau Coups of Blues. Beau Coups. Beau Coups.
Beau Coups.
His new album's 11 songs, and they're all duets except Time on My Hands, which is the first single.
Which is a Styx song, but that's a whole other story.
It is the Styx song. No, it's country now.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Alison Krauss is on the song Thankful. I liked her because she did an album with Robert Plant. Mm-hmm. We also have Molly Tuttle and Billy Strings on the remainder of the songs.
Okay.
Let's see. Now, before I mention a couple of Christmas albums, I have 4 newish bands, musical artists that have released new singles in the last month or so.
Okay.
And I'd like our listeners to check out. And I'm going to tell you the name of the band, where they're from, their music style, and who they sound like, and a song you should check out. So try and make it kind of brief.
Okay.
Okay, Them Dirty Roses. They're from Alabama. They're outlaw country.
Makes sense.
Now, they're hard to peg who they sound like, but it's Southern rock. But I get they compare themselves to Leonard Skinner a little bit.
Okay.
Song to check out, All Good in the Neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay.
All
That's
Good
a
in the
Christmas song.
It's a great song. The guy, he's content where he's at in his community.
Okay.
But he meets this girl. And I don't know what she wants to, but she wants to take a road trip. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns into like a Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
She's got a gun. He likes the look of the gun. And then pretty soon he robs a place and he's in jail and he just wants to go home. He should have stayed
right
where he was. So
right.
It's a pretty good song.
So it is not Christmas related, or
these are before I get into the Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was like, okay, this sounds like a strange Christmas.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Are we still having technical difficulties?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The computer's like stuttering.
Yeah.
For some reason. It's recording though.
Yeah. And the levels are moving, albeit very slowly, but.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that computer today.
I don't know.
Okay. So next we have Mama. That's the name of it. From Brooklyn, New York. And they kind of sound like every 90s girl band. And especially the band, I know you don't know this band, Jeremy, Belly, they're called.
Belly?
Yeah, from the 90s.
Okay.
And a song to check out, Ohio All the Time.
Tin Soldiers and Nixon's Coming? No? No? Okay.
So next up I have a band called Palais Royale.
Okay.
Palaye. They're from Las Vegas, and they actually sound like another Vegas band.
Oh, great.
Do you know who's from Vegas, Jeremy? Besides Elvis?
Celine Dion? No, she's Canadian. Vegas. Wayne Newton.
The Killers.
Oh, okay.
Song to check out, Addicted to the Wicked and the Twisted. Okay. And let's see. And then lastly, this is not so new artist, but it's with a newer artist. And her name is, and I want to say it's Rose, because it's Rose with a little apostrophe.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in a band. She's a South Korean artist. And I want to say I think she was in a band called Blackpink, something like that.
Okay.
She's from New Zealand. That's where she was born. But now I guess she emigrated to South Korea.
Okay.
But she sounds like a cross between Gwen Stefani and Avril Lavigne, I think. And the song to check out is APT, the abbreviation for apartment.
Oh, okay.
The song's based on a Korean drinking game called Apato, which is Korean for apartment.
Okay.
But it's a fun song. Again, I don't know if I said it's Bruno Mars and Rose.
Okay.
He's playing or he's making like, I don't know, maybe he's playing the drums. But it's a fun video. It's just the two of them. They're in like a pretty stark room, and she's playing guitar, and there's a lot of sped up things in it, like they're dancing around. She's giving him a kiss or something. I don't know. Okay. But there's a great hook in it, and it reminds me of the 80s song Mickey.
Not that, oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Oh, okay.
Well, there's a small part in it that sounds just like that.
Okay.
But it's a fun song. And I looked up the drinking game. So if you want to, I'm not going to tell you, but it's Apatow.
Okay.
And it's not a game. It's one of those games, like, beer pong. All you need is a glass and ping pong balls.
Right.
This, all you need is yourself, really.
Okay.
Because it's done with hands, like hands on top of, putting your hands on top of each other and stuff.
Okay.
So, Christmas music. September 27th, we already have some stuff. Kelly Clarkson, she has 2 new Christmas singles, You for Christmas and Sleigh Ride.
I've heard Sleigh Ride.
Okay. They're released as bonus tracks on her new edition of When Christmas Comes Around from 2021, but it's being repackaged as When Christmas Comes Around ... again.
Oh, okay.
Because it always comes around again.
Yep.
October 25th, Ben Folds released Slay Her
Okay.
EP. November 1st, we said Jimmy Fallon, Holiday Seasoning. November 6th, Nora Jones. And Leve, who I've talked about before. She is an Icelandic jazz singer who I love. Okay. I have her album. They've collaborated on some new holiday songs. I think they have 2 songs. They did Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas and Better Than Snow. That's an original.
I was going to say, it sounds like an original.
They wrote together. Okay. I always like to hear new songs because...
I agree.
How many renditions of these songs can you hear?
Right.
Like White Christmas and...
Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah.
Bruce's is the best, but still.
Yeah. My favorite, though, is Elvis, Bring My Baby. Santa, Bring My Baby Back to Me. I don't know any other rendition. I don't think I do of that song.
I think I've heard others, but...
And we got Alicia Witt. She's from The Walking Dead. 2.5 Men she was on.
Yeah.
A lot of TV, movie and TV
I think she was in Urban Legend, too.
Yeah. Yes. So she has already came out November 8th. I Think I'm Spending Christmas With You. 12 songs on that one. And then we have a couple reissues, which is Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Wishes You a Swinging Christmas. That's a great album. Deluxe edition. Remastered tracks, bonus content. And then we got another Frank Sinatra. I think every year they put out a Frank Sinatra Christmas. Because I was trying to find this one, and I'm like, oh, one came out like 2 years ago. One came out like 4 years.
Yeah.
And now I like to find the original Frank Sinatra from the 50s.
Right.
So this is a 2 LP set. Yeah, nothing different here, just reissued. And I don't know how many times they can remaster something.
Right.
So that's our new music. I don't know if you want to talk about anything you've been listening to.
Well, I recently got a chance to listen to, you've seen the American Pie movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guy who plays Kevin, Thomas Ian Nicholas, he actually has his own band.
Okay.
And he was at the Rhode Island Comic Con. Well, he actually got to perform at a bar right down the road from the show. So we got to see a free concert of him.
Oh, wow.
And then he hosted karaoke. We went to that and hung out, and he was singing at karaoke as well. So got a chance to listen to him. It was a lot of like that American Pie, Sum 41, Yellow Card, Blink 182, that style.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable. He's going to be performing in Pittsburgh next month. That was the closest he was going to be to us again. So that was pretty cool to check that out. As far as other new stuff,
And you didn't ask him if we could interview him?
I didn't have a card. I think I messaged you about that,
I don't
actually.
have cards. Yeah.
Because he was... He's one of those guys, I met him because someone else had sent me something to get signed by him. But when I met him, I didn't talk about American Pie or The Rookie or whatever movies he's in. I actually talked about his performance, and he was very excited to talk about music.
Yeah.
As opposed to the movies that everybody else kept coming up. You could tell that music was his passion.
Well, after a while, you get tired maybe of talking about the movies. This is something, yeah.
Because he was selling CDs. He was selling like guitar picks. Like he had all kinds of music related stuff at his table. And then Kristen and I went to Monster Mania in Oaks, and we didn't get any autographs. We didn't get any pictures with anybody other than going there. We didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But it was either the guitarist or the lead singer of Megadeth was there. Mm-hmm. He had a big line. A lot of people were excited to meet him. So
okay,
that was pretty cool. I mean, not a band that I'm really, or was it Lamb of God?
Oh, okay.
One of those. I don't remember. It was either Lamb of God or Megadeth, but there was a ton of people in his line. He seemed very interactive and friendly. I didn't personally meet him, but caught me, just seemed like a good person. So I was like, you know what? I want to check out their music because I've never really listened to them, but I'll see if it's something that I like. But otherwise, there's, like the new Linkin Park album is on my list to listen to. You mentioned the U2, which that's like, I feel like that's a re-release, but there might be some new stuff on there. So I want to look into that and check that out.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's any. That's why I hesitate paying like $55. I'd rather, if it's a remastered and like even if it's one album and I just want the album, because some of these albums did not come out on vinyl at a certain time. It depended if they were making vinyl,
right?
So maybe they never came out on vinyl, and if it was like $25 just for the album, then maybe I'd buy it,
right? And then the one other thing that I'm keeping my eye on is, I think you like him, but if not, I'm sure our listeners, there's some fans out there. Chris Daughtry is going to be pretty close to where I live, up in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
December 10th or 11th. So I'm keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah, I like to see Daughtry.
Because I know Kristen also likes him, so it might be one of those we could go to.
Is that Penn's Peak?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's the Kirby Center.
Oh, Kirby.
KW Kirby or something like that.
Yeah.
It's there.
Is that in Wilkes-Barre?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a Thursday night, I think.
Okay.
But keep an eye on that.
That reminds me. Any of our listeners, they check us out on I have a Facebook page. It's just look up No Good Music. But I just posted the other day, because otherwise our podcast it would be like 3 hours long. I have all the concerts in our area. I couldn't do the whole world. But in December, Pennsylvania is Wind Creek. And then we have New York and New Jersey concerts. But I have a list of all the concerts and the dates and where they are. So if you want to like that page, I don't know if you follow or like it.
Right.
I do have stuff on there that we don't have on the podcast.
Creed is going to be at Wind Creek next month, I think. That was one I also had my eye on. Or December. That is next month, right? Creed and Three Doors Down, I think it was.
Matt and I went to see a concert. When was it? I can't remember.
Just a couple weeks ago now. Because I was chiller.
Oh, yeah. It was the weekend. It was the last weekend of October.
Yep.
And it was a girl we interviewed back in, I want to say May or June. Emma Jen Clark. And she had, when we interviewed her, she had just moved to Nashville from Australia. And she's in Australia again now. She goes back to do shows. Nice. But she was opening for Robin Hitchcock, who I loved, like his first two albums back in the 80s. He was so strange. That's why I like They Might Be Giants and stuff like that. But he is just so strange. And he's English. Not that means anything, but he had a song called Balloon Man back then. He has a song about his love of trains. It's just, he was incredible, and so was Emma Jen. Emma Jen opened for him, and it was a church that we talked about before, Outpost in the Burbs in Montclair. But I got to meet Emma Jen, and it's so nice sometimes when you interview. We've only met a couple people that we've interviewed. But she was so happy to see us, and she is such a beautiful person, so sweet, just happy. And so that was a great experience, the whole thing. And I picked up her album, and she signed it for me. And I got Robin Hitchcock CD, and he signed it. He wouldn't let anyone take selfies. He's like take as many pictures as you want, but I'm not doing any selfies. So Matt got a couple of him signing, like me standing there next to him and signing. But anyway, yeah, I haven't gone to many concerts lately. Just nothing really good coming up. So hopefully next year we'll maybe Mammoth again. Love Mammoth.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
So anyway, what we're on to here. Next up. So if that wraps it up, we're going to take a break again. And when we come back, we're going to do album anniversaries. And then I'll just tell you what's coming up. Album anniversaries. I've got a couple new music books that would be good gifts for Christmas. You got to start thinking about Christmas gifts. I think I have all mine bought already.
Nice.
I got Jeremy's back in February. It was like the earliest I've ever. And then we'll have another song to play at the end. And then we'll wrap it up. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we are going to do album anniversaries like we always do.
Nice.
And we used to do a month ahead. Now I'm doing, of course, we're a little late this month, and but we're doing for November. 74, 84, and 94. Let's see what was going on back then.
All right.
So November 74, music news. November 2nd, George Harrison launches his George Harrison and Friends North American Tour in Vancouver, and it's the first North American tour by a former Beatle since the band's August 1966 tour. Let's see, November 21st, Wilson Pickett is arrested in, I'm going to say this wrong, forgive me, Andes, New York.
Okay.
Andes. After allegedly firing a bullet through the roof, or through the door of a hotel room where he was staying while on a hunting trip with the Isley Brothers.
Wow.
November 28th, John Lennon joins Elton John on stage at Madison Square Garden for 3 songs. So albums, and this is one I'm pretty sure I had back in the 70s, and it's Elton John's Greatest Hits. And you can all picture it, Elton at the piano, of course.
Oh, yeah.
It's his 11th official album release and his first compilation album. It was released on November 8th, 1974, spans the years 1970 to 74, and it compiled 10 of John's singles with 1-track variation for releases in North America and Europe and Australia. And it topped the album chart in both the United States and the United Kingdom, staying at number 1 for 10 consecutive in the US and 11 weeks in the UK.
Nice.
It was the best-selling album in 1975 in the United States. His second best-selling album to date. Let's see. And as of April 2016, the album has been certified for 17 million units in the US. So the single Benny and the Jets, which had topped the charts in both the US and Canada, it had not been released as a single in the United Kingdom at that point.
Oh, wow.
It appeared on the American and Canadian edition of the album. It was replaced by Candle in the Wind for the UK and Australian editions. And then the 1992 reissue contained all 11 tracks with both songs included. Then we have Linda Ronstadt, Heart Like a Will. I love Linda Ronstadt, so it's her 5th solo studio album, released November 74, of course. There's no date here. and it was her last album to be released by Capitol Records. At the time of recording, she had already moved to Asylum Records and released her first album there. And due to contractual obligations, Heart Like a Wheel was released by Capitol. It reached the top of the Billboard 200, becoming her first #1 album in the United States. And the lead single, a cover of Betty Everett's You're No Good, peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. I'm like sweating in here. Are you sweating?
It's hot.
So at the 18th Annual Grammy Awards, the album was nominated for Album of the Year, while her version of I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You won the award for Best Country Vocal Performance for Female. And in 2020, it was ranked number 490 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. And Heart Like a Wheel became Ronstadt's first album to hit the top spot on the Billboard Top 200 album chart, spent 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Country album chart in 75. And Stephen Holden's 1970 review in Rolling Stone described the title track as a masterpiece of writing and arrangement, and lauded the album's expansive repertoire, production, and song selection. So November 84, we're on to November 20th, Michael Jackson receives a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, directly in front of Mann's Chinese Theater, but he leaves only after 3 minutes at the request of security, as a crush of 5,000 onlookers becomes a safety concern. Okay, November 23rd, Tears for Fears releases the single Shout from their
still out.
Yeah, second studio album, Songs from the Big Chair. And it didn't hit the U.S. #1 Billboard Hot 100 until August of 85. The album,
wow, that's a long time.
Well, the album, let's see. This is the thing. The album did not come out until February 85.
Oh, okay.
So they released the single way ahead
yeah, clearly.
of time. November 25th, the Band-Aid single, They Know It's Christmas. I still like that song. Yeah. Recorded at SARM Studios in Notting Hill, London, by a gathering of performers that includes, as we know now, Paul Young, Simon Le Bon, Bono, Phil Collins, Paul Weller, Sting, Boy George, Tony Hadley, Cyndi Lauper, and her jewelry. Do you know that about that?
We talked about it.
I think she got yelled at because something was jingling and
yep.
They didn't know what it was.
Yep.
So November 84 was a great time for music, I'd say. There were many albums that became, well, not many that became monumental, but first one I'm going to talk about is kind of monumental. It's Bryan Adams, Reckless. Mm-hmm. It's his 4th studio album, released by A&M Records on November 5th, 84, and it coincided with his 25th birthday. He had turned 25 on November 5th. And like its predecessor, Cuts Like a Knife, the album was entirely produced by Adams and Bob Clearmountain. It was commercially successful. It sold over 12 million copies worldwide. And this made it Adams' second highest selling studio album, behind his 1991 album, Waking Up the Neighbors. I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
And it was also the first Canadian album to sell over 1 million copies within Canada, and is certified 11 times platinum in the country. So the album peaked at #1 on the U.S. Billboard 200. 6 singles were released from the album: Run to You, Someday, Somebody, Heaven, Summer 69, One Night, Love Affair, and It's Only Love. And all 6 singles charted within the top 20 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. Now I'm going to give you a little personal info. Heaven was my wedding song.
Nice. Love that
when
song.
I was married the first time.
Okay.
Not to get too personal. And I have here, it's ironic because Heaven, the song Heaven, my marriage actually turned into hell. But I remarried. Everything's good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heaven was the first song recorded for the album, which was originally written by Adams and Jim Vallance for the film A Night in Heaven. So, as the song was already released on the film's soundtrack album, the song was not initially planned to be included on Reckless as it was considered too light for the album. 9 tracks for the album were completed in August 84 after Adams and Clear Mountain flew to New York City to record some vocal overdubs at the power station. However, Adams was not fully satisfied with the album, and he consulted his manager, Bruce Allen, who listened to the album and asked him, "Where's the rock?" This prompted Adams and Vallance to return to Vancouver and re-record 2 songs, One Night Love Affair and Summer of '69. As well as writing Kids Wanna Rock, the album was eventually completed later that month. Imagine if there was no Summer of '69.
Yeah.
You know, the 80s would have been shit.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. And all we would have been listening to would have been Bon Jovi. You thought I wasn't going to mention Bon Jovi.
Gina would still be working the diner all day.
Yeah. You thought I was not going to mention Bon Jovi. It's like, wow, gone this long.
Yeah.
Then we had Madonna, Like a Virgin. Second studio album by American singer Madonna, released November 12, 1984 by Sire Records. Following the success of her 1983 debut album, Madonna was eager to start working on a follow-up, and she selected Nile Rodgers to produce the album due to his work on Let's Dance, the 1983 album by David Bowie, which she was a fan of. And to ensure it to be exactly as she envisioned it, Madonna chose all the songs for the album. She penned 6 of her own, 5 of which were co-written with her former boyfriend and collaborator Stephen Bray. 6 were written by other artists. And she also recorded at the power station. Didn't I just say that? Yeah, Bryan Adams. So they're pumping out hit songs there.
Yeah.
In New York City. And then the album was promoted on Madonna's first concert tour, the Virgin Tour of '85, which only visited cities in North America. And Like a Virgin has been noted as the album that made Madonna a superstar, as well as the one that proved she was not a one-hit wonder.
Right.
My favorite Madonna still is Borderline.
Okay. I like Frozen.
Which was her, like, you know, first hit, I think. And on top of that, the younger female population began emulating the singer's fashion style, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I started to wear frilly dresses and large hoop rings. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I wasn't alive yet, so
okay.
I couldn't.
You would have.
Yeah, I would have, absolutely.
Now, Madonna was angry with the label, and she would publicly vent during interviews and refer to her bosses as a hierarchy of old men, a chauvinistic environment to be working in because I'm treated like this sexy little girl. But the executives at Sire decided to allow Madonna to work with any producer of her choice. And like we mentioned earlier, she picked Nile Rodgers. He was the co-founder of American disco band Chic. And Rodgers had previously met Madonna after attending one of her gigs at a New York City nightclub, and he was impressed by her stage presence. He said, "I keep thinking to myself, damn, is she a star?" But she wasn't at that time. I always wanted to work with her, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity. But however, when the time came, he initially hesitated, as he had been warned by several people that Madonna was a totally self-centered bitch. And a pain in the ass to work with. But when the two actually met, Rodgers quickly changed his mind and said the singer was great and a true professional. Now this is weird because in the U.S., Like a Virgin debuted at number 70 on the Billboard 200.
Yeah.
December 1st, 84. But the following week it climbed to number 10. And then it reached the chart's first spot on February 9th, 85, where it spent 3 weeks. And Madonna became the third female artist in the 1980s, after Barbra Streisand and Kim Carnes, to score both a number 1 album and single, as the title track had reached the Hot 100's top spot 2 weeks prior. And 2 weeks after its release, Like a Virgin had sold over 3 million copies.
It was faster than a ray of light.
Yeah. And by July 85, it had become the first album by a female to sell over 5 million copies in the United States. Let's see. And a couple other notable ones from that time period. Aria Speedwagon, Wheels Are Turning. That had Can't Fight This Feeling on it.
Mm-hmm.
Wham! Make It Big.
Okay.
That was the UK release on November 5th. The Honey Drippers.
I don't know who that is.
What? Get out of here. Volume 1 EP. It's Robert Plant.
Oh, okay.
He had an EP. It was like standard songs like Sea of Love. I forget what else. There was only like 4 or 5 songs on that.
Okay.
We had Don Henley, Building the Perfect Beast,
Yep.
November 19th. We had Boys of Summer, Sunset Grill, All She Wants to Do Is Dance. Pat Benatar, Tropica, which had We Belong on it. Now we have November 94. November 20th, David Crosby undergoes a 7-hour liver plant operation in Los Angeles.
Okay.
November 30th, the Breeders' guitarist Kelly Deal is arrested at her Ohio home after accepting a private courier package containing 4 grams of heroin. Albums, we have the Black Crowes, Amorica.
Okay.
Now, there weren't many hits from, this shipped 500,000 copies on November 1st, 94. It's their 3rd studio album. But what I remember the most is the album cover, because the album only peaked at number 11.
Mm-hmm.
The cover notably featured a close-up photo of the pelvic region of a woman wearing a United States flag bikini bottom with pubic hair showing at the top. Mm-hmm. And the photo was taken from the cover of the July 1976 issue of Hustler magazine.
Nice.
So the album cover was subsequently banned from the chain stores like Walmart, Kmart.
Yep, makes sense.
And the cover was censored with a solid black background displaying only the garment. So in July 2014, Guitar World chose Amorica as one of the 50 iconic albums that defined 1994.
Okay.
I don't remember one song from the album. Aerosmith, Big Ones.
Yeah,
it was a compilation album.
Yep.
November 1st, 94. 12 hits from the band's 3 consecutive previous multi-platinum albums. Permanent Vacation, Pump, and Get a Grip.
Yep.
As well as the hit Deuces Are Wild from the compilation The Beavis and Butthead Experience. And 2 new songs, Blind Man and Walk on Water, which were recorded during a break in the band's Get a Grip tour. And Big Ones is the band's 2nd best-selling compilation album, reached number 6 on the Billboard charts, sold 4 million copies in the United States alone. And probably my favorite album from this time period is Tom Petty, Wildflowers. And this is only his 2nd studio album, without the Heartbreakers.
Right.
Released on November 1st. And it was the first album released by Petty after signing a contract with Warner Brothers, where he had recorded as part of the Traveling Wilburys. And it was the first of 3 of his albums produced by Rick Rubin. It was certified 3 times platinum in the United States. And in 2020, Wildflowers was ranked as number 214 on Rolling Stone's list of 500 greatest albums of all time. Now, it was the album was credited only to Tom Petty and not to his usual band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, because in Petty's word, Rick Rubin and I both wanted more freedom than to be strapped into 5 guys. Nonetheless, the Heartbreakers predominantly served as the musicians on the album. The album features all the band members with the exception of drummer Stan Lynch. Petty auditioned numerous drummers for the album, eventually chose Steve Ferrone. Petty fired Lynch from the Heartbreakers just before the album's release, and Ferrone officially joined the touring band the following year and later became a full band member. So Tom Petty wrote and recorded numerous songs for the album, and the original plan was to have the Wildflowers be a double album with 25 songs in total. However, Lenny Waronker of Warner Brothers felt that the album was too long, and it was decided to reduce the album to 15 tracks. So out of the 10 tracks left out, one, Leave Virginia Alone, notably became a hit single the following year when it was recorded by Rod Stewart, while another 4 were included in modified form in Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' next album, the soundtrack album to the 1996 film She's the One. Am I putting you to sleep?
You are.
So all 10 songs in the original form were later released in the 2020 edition of Wildflowers, and All the Rest. And I do have I think it's a 3-album version. That might be that. I think that's the version I have. Now there's a documentary on the making of the album, which came out in 2021. It's called Tom Petty, Somewhere You Feel Free, The Making of Wildflowers. And it includes significant amount of archival footage from the recording sessions, and which had only recently been unearthed following Tom Petty's death, as well as interviews with many of the producers and musicians who had been involved with the album. And it's on YouTube, so you can check it out.
Okay.
Let's see here. We have 2 more, not as long as that one. So hopefully Jeremy makes it. Pearl Jam, Vitalogy.
Yep.
3rd studio album by Pearl Jam, released November 22nd on Epic Records. And they wrote the album and recorded Vitalogy. I don't know how you say it, Vitalogy.
Yeah,
Something like that. Right. While they were touring for their previous album, Versus. And the album sound is more diverse than the previous release and consists of aggressive rock songs, ballads, and other styles, making it Pearl Jam's most experimental album from that period. The album was released on vinyl, followed by a release on CD and cassette 2 weeks later on December 6, 1994. The album sold 34,000 copies in its first week of release. And until Jack White's 2014 album Lazaretto, it held the record for most vinyl sales in 1 week since SoundScan began tracking sales in 91.
Wow, interesting.
Upon its CD release, Vitalogy became the 2nd fastest selling album in history, behind only the band's previous release Versus, selling 877,000 copies in its first week, and quickly went multi-platinum. And the album was included on Rolling Stone's 2003 and 2012 500 Greatest Albums of All Time, number 485, but it was dropped from the 2020 edition.
Okay.
It's no longer there. So, and then we have the Beatles. Yeah, 1994. Live at the BBC. Compilation album featuring performances by the Beatles, originally broadcast on various BBC light program radio stations from 1963 to 65. It was released on November 30th, 94. It's got 56 songs, most commonly on the 2 CD set. 13 tracks of dialogue, and 30 of the songs had never been issued previously by the Beatles, which means they were bootlegs.
Right.
People had recordings of them. And it was the first official release by the Beatles of previously unreleased performances since the Beatles at the Hollywood Bowl in 1977, and the first containing previously unreleased songs since their final studio album, Let It Be, in 1970. These are live in the studio performances. They were recorded ahead of broadcast, allowing for retakes and overdubbing, but they're essentially
right,
quote unquote live in the studio. So that does it for album anniversaries. So check those out. Or if you know those out and haven't listened to them in a while, it's good to go back and listen.
For sure.
So we're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll have some music books to check out. We have some new music books. I think these are fairly new. I don't think there's anything old on here.
I haven't read any good music books in a while. We should cover one soon.
Yeah, we should. Well, we're going to cover Darius Rucker.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to start doing is do at least 4 podcasts covering a person or a band.
Yeah, we should do
the last one we did was the Cars. But.
Right.
So these are kind of getting an early start on the Christmas buying season. Gift giving is music books. And I know a book, you have to give them to people that actually read.
Right.
Because there are people that they either don't have many books in their house or you never see them reading a book.
Right.
I just got done with Stephen King's, finally. Actually, I think I have one more page to go because my wife wanted to watch something last night. And I literally have one more page to go on I think it's called You Like It Darker.
Yeah.
And
I have not read that one yet.
So here's some books that you could, or you can buy them for yourself. And we haven't mentioned this person in a long time.
Uh-oh.
And she actually hasn't been in the news as much as she used to be.
Taylor Swift?
Yes, Taylor. Jeremy, why'd you mention her? No. Taylor Swift. Let's see. I think it's just called, what's it called? We don't know.
Travis Kelce.
Taylor Swift the book? I think it's just called Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Contributions by Holly Corbett, Beatrice Foreman. I don't know these people. Mara Johnston. Jeremy Dugan. What is your name down in there?
Yeah.
Okay, this is already out. It's October 1st it came out.
Okay.
It's hardcover, $22 on Amazon, 144 pages. And I think it's called Taylor Swift the book.
Okay.
And then here's a little bit about it. Your wildest dreams have come true. Get an insider's look at Taylor Swift's life and achievements in this pocket-sized collectible hardcover book for Swifties of all ages.
Pocket-sized?
Yeah, I guess you can put it in your pocket.
Okay.
Are you ready for it? 100+ stunning photos. Include in commentary from top music and culture writers. Okay, that's who those people were I was reading. Music writer, culture writers.
Top culture writers.
So they're not bloggers or TikTokers.
Yeah.
Explore the power of Taylor's music and influence and why she'll never go out of style. Throughout the photo-packed pages, Swifties will follow Taylor's rise to pop icon status through all her eras with interviews from the vault of Cosmopolitan, Esquire, 17, along with original essays from noted contributors. So they basically took AI, took the articles and put them all together.
It's funny. Like, you and I are both fans of Taylor Swift, but that didn't necessarily sound appealing to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Nah. I'd rather, if she wrote a biography.
100%, I would want to read that.
I think once she gets done with a tour, and she's been recording, touring, maybe she'll take some time. And
I think it would be curious to see some of the stuff she deals with outside of touring.
Yeah.
Because I know that she has to kind of stay secluded or have people, bodyguards.
Or even stories from the tour that you don't hear.
Right.
Because people think they know her by what they see.
Yep.
Like how she met Travis.
Right.
I don't know. There could be a whole chapter on her, first time she met Travis. So then we have Farewell Yellow Brick Road.
Is that about, let's see. Let me take a guess. Elton John.
Yes.
Yes.
Memories of my life on tour, and we all know he did his last tour.
I was there.
Farewell tour.
I was there.
Yeah, I was at the PP&L.
I did the one at It used to be the Meadowlands. I don't know what they call
Okay.
it these days, but
Yeah.
giant stadium.
Yeah. So this is forward by David Furnish. Do you know who David is, Jeremy?
Top contributor.
No,
What was the word?
It's his husband.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
My bad.
David Furnish. Let's see. Released September 24th, so it's out already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a little pricey. It's $55 on Amazon.
Okay.
It's a 9x11 book, 256 pages.
Not pocket-sized.
No. And it's a must-have gift for every classic rock fan, not just Elton fan, classic rock fan.
Okay.
In this lavish retrospective authored by the icon himself, Elton John shares his fondest memories, most unforgettable moments, and previously untold stories from his record-breaking final tour. It's a full-color celebration of Elton John's record-breaking, globe-spanning farewell tour from the first show in Allentown. They mention Allentown? PA, which we're near, in 2018, to the final show. You know, I might have been at the first show. PP&L Center. That would have been Allentown.
Yeah.
I might have been at the first show, folks.
He was listening in Allentown. Oh, wrong.
I might be
sorry.
mentioned in this book, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. To his final show in Stockholm. I know Stockholm. I was in Stockholm.
You were there.
Oh my God. This book is about me. No. 2000. I was there. I know him.
I was there.
I know him. Santa. Okay. Featured concerts include Elton's dazzling performances at Los Angeles Dodger Stadium in November 2022, the finale of which streamed live on Disney Plus, and fans will be treated to a behind-the-scenes glimpse into every aspect of these spectacular shows, including Elton's legendary touring wardrobe by Gucci, the set design, official tour photography, and more.
You know, he got ripped by a lot of people. So this farewell tour, it went over the course of, I want to say, like 4 or 5 years because COVID interrupted the first farewell tour.
It interrupted a lot of tours.
After COVID, he came back and added a bunch of new shows and made it like an extended farewell tour, which why not?
Yeah.
But people, of course, you know, gave him a hard time for that.
Well, interrupted the Kiss final tour.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Kiss before COVID. It might have been, I don't know if it was the same year, but I'm thinking though I saw the first show of the final tour. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But then I got a little sidetracked because it said, what did it say here? It was streamed live, and then I was thinking, no, I watched Kiss on pay-per-view, but
Yeah.
I don't have Disney Plus, so I didn't watch Elton. And then here's one. This kind of goes with one of the music stories we talked about, and it's "Deliver Me from Nowhere: The Making of Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska."
Okay.
Not about the movie, but about the album.
Yeah.
By Warren Zanes. This was released back in May. This is in paperback, $20, so affordable. And it's a fascinating story behind the making of Bruce Springsteen's most surprising album, Nebraska, revealing its pivotal role in Springsteen's career. At least it's recording and not hesitating.
Right.
I think it was that other. Couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Couldn't handle the sound effects.
Nope.
Too powerful.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I just wanted to finish that.
Yeah.
So this is an NPR. I don't know if people listen to NPR. Best book of the year. Without Nebraska, Bruce Springsteen might not be who he is today. I don't think that's true, but
I don't either. But
the natural follow-up to Springsteen's hugely successful album, The River, which I love, should have been the hit-packed Born in the USA.
The River was the concert that I went to.
Oh, okay.
Because he does, for those who don't know, he kind of does an album concert.
Yeah.
Whatever the tour is, he'll do that album from top to bottom, and then he'll mix in some other hits as well, but he always has a theme, some kind of, or at least that's what I've been led to believe.
Was this the anniversary tour though? Because The River came out in like 1980.
Well, yeah. So the tour I went to, that was the album he was covering. I don't know if it was an anniversary, but that was the.
But I mean, it wasn't the original tour.
No.
Okay. We talked about this maybe last year with Christmas presents, because that was the one album that my parents actually went out to the record store, and they didn't buy albums. I don't know,
right, if
they got his name right or if they wrote it down, I guess. But I was surprised when I opened that. Let's see. In 1982, he came out with an album consisting of a series of dark songs he had recorded by himself, which was, of course, Nebraska, for himself. But more than 40 years later, Nebraska is arguably Springsteen's most important record, the lasting clue to understanding not just his career as an artist and the vision behind it, but also the man himself. And then Warren Zanes, I don't know who he is. An influencer? No, I don't. Columnist. He spoke to many people involved with making Nebraska, including Bruce Springsteen himself. He also interviewed more than a dozen celebrated artists and musical insiders, from Roseanne Cash, Steven Van Zandt, about the reactions to the album. And he interweaves these conversations with inquiries into the myriad cultural touch points, including Terrence Malick's Badlands and the short stories of Flannery O'Connor that influenced Springsteen as he was writing the album's haunting songs. I'm going to have to check out this Flannery O'Connor.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the books that we have as suggestions. And next music podcast, I'll have more music gifts, not books, but we'll have different music gifts that I can find.
Okay, cool.
For music lovers.
Cool.
So we're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to end it with another song, another Give It a Listen. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back again. And this brings us to our last segment. And it's another Give It a Listen. Now, this time we have an artist that Matt and I interviewed way back in March of 2021. And she's been featured before on Give It a Listen. And that is New York singer-songwriter Fiona Silver. We love Fiona. She has a new EP that came out on October 11th called The Spell. Now, Fiona sent me her press release for the new EP, and I'm going to read it here. Native New Yorker Fiona Silver emerges with a fresh sound that is epic and electric, with stories to tell on her upcoming EP, The Spell. The powerhouse singer, songwriter, producer, and rock star, period. This is from Beautiful Savage magazine. Weaves darker psychedelic rock and cinematic influences on her new body of work. Paste magazine states, Femme Fatale, or a modern-day chanteuse. Don't hear that word very often.
No.
Given her spit and sass, Fiona Silver clearly demands immediate attention. Fiona Silver cut her teeth working with Ronnie Spector, touring throughout North America with Gary Clark Jr., and she shared the stage with Carlos Santana,
nice,
as well as Gwen Stefani. Phoenix magazine from the UK named her a female pioneer smashing glass ceilings, torching patriarchal rock. And legendary rock and roll DJ Rodney Bingenheimer of KROQ and Sirius XM calls her music beyond amazing. So we are ending today's show with one of her new songs, or one of her songs off her new EP. We'd like to thank all our listeners for tuning in, not only today, but each and every podcast. And like I mentioned about 20 times, we'll have some more Christmas stuff next month because it is December. Anyone wants us to play their song, talk about their music on the podcast, you can send inquiries to nogoodmusicpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll give it a listen, and we'll get back to you. And also, we're going to start, I mentioned it to Jeremy the other day about doing playlists on Mixcloud. So our page is mixcloud.com/nogoodmusic. Okay. So if you go there, subscribe, and then when there's nothing there right now, but Jeremy and I are going to come up with our coolest songs in the world. Just a short playlist, nothing too, we don't want to do like 30 song playlists, and maybe we'll do a Christmas themed one next month. We'll see. But check out that page. Also, we have a page on TeePublic for our shirts and whatnot. I don't know the exact page, but just look up No Good Music. Also, Jeremy's podcast, Horror Con Lounge. Yep. You want to check that out. So until next time, turn off the TV.
And turn up the music.
And here's Fiona Silver with the new song, Levitate. You've been listening to No Good Music. Today's show was produced by Rob J. Lilly and recorded live and unedited at the Did You Say 7 Studios in Washington, New Jersey. You can find No Good Music on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and almost anywhere you listen to podcasts.